everybody, and welcome to another My Music Now. Today, I'm going to be speaking to the wonderful Chellcy, who's coming all the way from lovely Malta with beautiful beaches to walk along at night. And we'll be speaking to Chellcy all about that straight after this.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
I love the dancing cat. Thanks for joining me, Chellcy.
Thank you for having me, Graham.
No, absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Now, where are you originally from? Because that isn't a Maltese accent.
I'm originally from California, from Visalia, California.
Yeah.
And I grew up there until I was in my 20s. And then I moved out to Chicago. And I went to the School of the Art Institute in Chicago, lived there for 11 years. And then I just kind of moved around. I lived a bit in Stockholm and in Florence, Italy, in Toronto, Canada, and I landed in Malta.
Why Malta? I'm not knocking it. As I say, it's a great place. But what took you there?
Well, actually, I was on tour. I used to be a professional dancer, and I was invited to come to Malta on tour and teach and perform and stuff here. And they loved me, and they just started bringing me back like every single year, sometimes several times a year. And pretty soon I was staying for 3 months, and pretty soon I had a dance company in Malta and one in Chicago, and I was trying to manage both and flying back and forth for years. And
Now, I did spot that the Maltese are really keen on sort of like our 1980s idols of music. Do you know what I mean? They're like really big on like Michael Jackson, Madonna. They're all really massive. Yeah, it's all that whole scene's really massive out there. Not so much here now for various reasons. But did that kind of fit into that? Is that because there's a definite vibe out there of like sort of it feeling almost like 20-30 years ago in some of the
yeah, Malta's definitely stuck in the past when it comes to music. They really love their 80s and 90s stuff. And I feel in some ways we've moved up to the 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
So we're always going to be a little bit behind in the music scene. But yeah, I didn't come out here for music at all. It was all with my dancing originally. So
yeah. But have you got, I mean, to some degree, have you carried some of that over into the music that you're making? Do you fit into that mold a little bit yourself in that you're certainly making music that's fresh for now, but that you've definitely got inspirations for, or, people that you look to from the past there in your sound, right?
yes, actually, I feel that my music is a bit retro. Some of it is very retro. I listen a lot to music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and as well as contemporary artists. But a lot of the contemporary artists I listen to are also kind of have this retro meets contemporary vibe. Like Asaf Avidan is one of my biggest inspirations, and his music is extremely retro as well.
I feel like we're in an age now where we're going to see a lot of that. Some say, well, we've not really since like the early 2000s. We've not really had a style of music that's like of a generation anymore. It's kind of a melting pot. I just kind of see that as kind of an almost obvious sort of movement forward in music, which is that I feel like music's always harked back to a certain extent, but I just feel like now we've got the capability of reproducing faithfully sounds from the past whilst bringing things up to date at the same time. So it's going to be more of a melting pot. Do you see it like that?
Yeah, I could definitely see what you're saying. Also, it's I don't want to say that everything has been done because eventually someone will think of something cool and new that has not been done. But a lot of things have already been done. So almost anything that you come up with as an artist, no matter how like fusion or cutting edge or whatever it is, there's going to be some elements of it that are going to remind someone of another artist from the past at some point. That's just the way it is because there's only so many chords and everything has been done. And so it's, I don't know, it's going to have to be something like just crazy experimental and progressive.
I
I
feel
think.
like there's only a few artists on the planet that really tap into that completely new, pushing the envelope, type of thing completely. I mean, for one of them for me would be Björk. I'd say I feel like
Yes.
I feel like she's really kind of continued to push sonic landscapes and what she can do with her voice and how the voice is used and stuff like that.
I enjoy it when I really want to hear something artsy and I want to be challenged, and but if I want to just sit back and enjoy something that I could even sing along to.
Kind of makes a lot of sense with some of your imagery and actually some of your the music that you're producing as well then. Yeah. It kind of reminds me a little bit, I suppose, of when Thomas Dolby made an album called Aliens That Ate My Buick, and it started with this kind of, kind of almost 1950s kind of jazz bass type thing, but then it took it off into a different era. But that some of the imagery was definitely kind of those old sci-fi films, and like everything was really big, right?
Yeah,
Everything was
yeah.
like over the top, exaggerated, which I quite like,
Wow. And interesting. I'll have to watch those. I haven't seen his videos actually.
Have you not? Uh,
No.
Thomas
I'll have.
Dolby, really interesting musician. Produced a lot of, I don't know whether you know, a band from England called Prefab Sprout. He was kind of almost like the extra member of the band. He produced a lot of those kind of sonic landscapes for them. But
Okay.
there
I'll
you go.
definitely check that out for sure.
Here's a question for you. Why the Latin?
Well, I mean, being an art school nerd, of course, I like my Latin, but
Cool.
yeah, just Memento Mori and
Carpe
Carpe
Diem.
Diem. They
Yeah.
just really because there's so much more meaning within each word. If you say it in English, it sort of takes a lot of the meaning away and simplifies it too much. So that's why I used Latin because there's more meaning that can be like held within each word than.
I totally get that. I think I remember learning in church when I was young, like in Latin, there were like, I get this right? There were like 8 words for love,
Yeah,
whereas we have love, right?
exactly.
Yeah, because there's different types of love. There's love.
Exactly. Memento Mori and Carpe Diem were kind of written, all the songs were written simultaneously and during the same period of time. And then I just produced everything in one go. And after I started listening to the music and trying to decide how I was going to curate each album, I realized that it definitely is two different albums. And one is more dark and, pondering life and thinking about the end of life and everything. And the other group of songs is just definitely more Carpe Diem. It was just, and it was
Mm.
pretty soon I realized that that Carpe Diem was sort of the reply to the Memento Mori album. And I was like, this
Right.
is a double album and it's got to be Memento Mori and it's got to be Carpe Diem.
Yeah. Why were you in that headspace? Which headspace do you inhabit the most? Do you tend to be a pessimist? Do you tend to think about like the end of things, or are you a sort of like more seize the day type person?
I feel I don't feel like I'm a pessimist. I feel like I'm a realist.
Right.
Um, I'm just very honest with myself and with others, and I feel more like a realist and a seize the day person, because I can't separate them. They're both very much me.
Right. Right.
Yeah, really and
Okay.
truly.
So did
Yeah,
you
my
have to
headspace.
so did you have to dive more into a different headspace then for talking about, death and or life beyond now, or did you struggle to do that or not?
Um, uh, Neither one was really a struggle. So basically, I went through a very dark period of time near COVID, as a lot of people did. But I had a lot of friends and family die. I had a lot of some health problems myself, and so did my husband. And I had two close brushes with death myself, as well as my husband. Like in the
Okay,
span
so
of
you drew on that experience for writing that.
yeah, it all
Right.
just then at the same time my lust for life. So that's why I was writing the song simultaneously, because it was just a period of roller coaster years. Like these really high highs and great things were happening, and then these like really crazy lows and brushes with death. And it was like 1 month to the other, just a crazy time. So I ended up writing the songs very simultaneously, like a dark song, a happy song, a dark song. It was crazy. It was just a weird time. So that's how it ended up happening. That's why I sent them all off as one project to produce them.
Yeah.
But then later I realized that it was the two albums.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Did anyone else like interject in terms of that process as well? And when I'm not sure how we put this lot together. And did someone help you with that, or did you just realize after you've kind of like amassed it and sent it and went, oh my word, look what I've done?
It was pretty clear to me exactly how I wanted to curate the songs in terms of which albums they were going on. The only two tracks that were in question were the poem track on Carpe Diem, and also Happy New Year, which was on Carpe Diem. Those two songs, I was like, okay, do those belong? I can't tell. Do those belong on the Memento Mori album, or do they belong on the Carpe Diem album? And so I spoke with my co-songwriter. He does the compositions and I write all the lyrics and stuff, Alan de Gabriele. And I'm like, what do you think? And ultimately, we both just decided like those definitely belong on the Carpe Diem album. They're still about living life and seizing the day, even though they're a little dark.
Yeah. It's good to have those people that you can like lean on within the creative process as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he has been my right arm for the last few years. We started writing together. Actually, Happy New Year was the first song that we wrote together, and we started writing together in was it 2019? And yeah, a lot of really cool stuff has been written since then, and we just have a great creative chemistry with each other. We really get each other. He understands like where I want to take the music and where I want to take each track. And the other thing that's cool, because I don't like to subscribe to a genre. I find it really creatively stifling and limiting. And he feels the same way. So we just kind of, I come up with these lyrics and these crazy melody lines, and then we meet up and we start laying down the chords and deciding like the direction that we're going to push the song in stylistically, like what the song is telling us as we work together and develop the music
Yeah.
side of things.
I feel like these days the artists are taking advantage of that much more. They can be much more genre fluid amongst the whole album. I feel like they can really do that. Whereas in the past, I think because people were releasing straight to vinyl and things like that as well, that and record companies were controlling it a bit more. They would probably be like, oh, I'd like this to sound like you on this album, and then if you're going to go in a different direction, make the whole album more that direction. But now people are mixing it up a lot. Well, it's always nice though. What's lovely about that is if some people after this are starting to flick through your catalog and like listen to things, they might hit on one song to begin with and think, wow, this is going to be like, this is rock, and then they listen to the next one, it's like, that's not rock. I feel like there could be some big surprises in here. Do you feel like you kind of bring some big surprises to listeners?
I think so, because I really like surprises.
Yeah.
And I tend to get a little bit bored when I listen to an artist or even a playlist or something. And all the music sounds exactly the same. You're like, wait, did we finish one song and start a new one? I can't tell. It sounds the same. And I know for marketing purposes, maybe that is great and it's easy and you could package it up and sell it. But artistically, then I get super bored. And I think the listener would like some surprises. Like, of course, they want some predictability, some sing-along, something that they can really hold on to that feels familiar. But at the same time, you want a few surprises so you don't get bored,
It's actually more difficult if you produce an album of the same sounding stuff in a way, because from the way that music is disseminated these days, like over Spotify or even radio and clips and stuff like that, or little snippets in adverts or whatever, we're only hearing one thing at a time. We're only hearing one song at a time. It's almost like songs blow up these days. Albums,
Right.
right? I guess albums do blow up when someone's got the status for an album to blow up. But I wonder how many of the kids that buy those albums actually sit there and listen to the whole album. I wonder, or whether they literally just skip to the bit that they, or actually,
Yeah.
I do wonder whether actually for some of them, whether those albums ever actually get played, right? If someone buys the latest Taylor Swift album on vinyl, I wonder how many of those vinyls just end up in the rack and actually they just play the few songs that they like off the album on Spotify. Probably.
That definitely happens. Like, I have started collecting vinyl and I don't have a record player.
There you go. You
I'm
see?
embarrassed to admit that, but I intend to buy a record player, but
But
I
it
don't
happens. This is happening, right? This is a this is the real
100%.
thing.
It's like the vinyl has become a collector's item.
Yeah.
Whether you listen to it or not, it doesn't really matter.
There we
I
are.
I also think sometimes like I buy merchandise from an artist to support them and because it's cool and I like it. But then also if I am only listening to the vinyl or the CD or whatever, then I start feeling guilty that I'm not also supporting them on streaming sites because they're not going to get the streaming royalties there. They're not going to get the numbers up that they need for their label or whatever. And so I find myself torn between using both things.
Okay, the purists that are out there will argue that you should be listening to the vinyl, right? That's what
Of
they
course.
should, right? Let's counter that by saying, folks, doesn't matter, right? If you listen to it on the black box in the corner of your room, whatever that is, or off your phone or whatever, that's great, right? But buy the album as well, right? Even if it does sit in your cupboard and collect dust, because at least then you've paid for that music, right? That's the honest way,
Exactly.
right?
I think that's why I'm doing both.
I was just going to show this as a little example. So one record company that are very nice to me sent me a load of tapes earlier today. Tapes, not even vinyl tapes, like the good old fashioned cassette tapes. They're making a comeback as well. But with each one, we get a little code, so you can download it onto your phone or your computer and whatever and listen to it in the digital form as well. And that's life these days, you see.
Yeah, that's great. And even a QR code is great now.
If I can give you access to anybody in the world to work with on a song together with you, who would that be?
Asaf Avedon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just in love with his art. I love him. Yeah.
We've got to make that happen then, right?
I would love to make that happen, actually. I went to his concert in Lyon a couple weeks ago, and I got to meet him backstage for the first time, and I was on cloud nine.
Did you ask? Did you not say, so come on then, when are we getting together and doing the song?
I gave him my album,
Right.
my double album on LP. So it was more subtle than that. So he can listen to it if he wants to, if he's interested in his own time. So
Okay, well, we'll tag him in on this interview when it goes out as well, and we'll just say,
thank you.
how did you get on with the album, and then when are you getting into a studio?
Exactly.
Go for the direct route, right?
Exactly.
I'm meeting one of my childhood heroes in about an hour from now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I should be asking him onto this very soon. I'll just be straight and blunt with the point. You just got to go straight for the. In fact, I might even take him one of my little badges. There we are. Right. I'll say pin that on yourself, mate. There we are.
Yeah. 100%. Just be very direct. People don't have time.
Do you know what I'd learned that from musicians over the years, actually, as well. I felt like musicians have partly taught me that experience. I went to I was working doing radio at a festival one time, and I invited the drummer from Marillion to join me, and he wanted to meet up with someone he'd been doing some work with, which was Ben Castle, this other musician. We didn't have access to main stage, and he went, "Why don't we just go?"
Mm-hmm.
And I went, "Yeah, what? Just blag it at security." He went, "Yeah," and we just blagged it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
the way.
amazing.
That's the way to do it, though, isn't it? I feel it's kind of like just like put it out there. If you do it with confidence, I think let's make that happen for you, though, Chelsea. Because
I would love that. I would love that. Like,
love to see that happen.
I reached out to him on, I just took a chance and replied to one of his stories and reached out to him on Instagram. And that's how I ended up getting to meet him backstage at his concert. And
well, that's beautiful. I've got everybody guessing now that's listening to this who I actually met. Maybe I'll tell you sometime. When you've written a song about Happy New Year, right? Especially when you're playing in Malta, do people expect when you announce that and you're about to start up that you're going to play ABBA?
it does sound like it would be that sort of song, doesn't it? The title, you expect it to be very happy.
Happy New Year, Happy New
Exactly.
Year. Right, yeah. So you get like a whole load of people like going, ABBA tribute. And then you hit them with your song and they're like, that wasn't...
I usually say I'm going to sing an original song now.
Yeah.
Or I'll tell the story before I sing it so that people don't get a shock. So
that's a beautiful thing. Do you tend to tell a lot of stories alongside your songs when you're playing?
I do. It also depends on the venue and the audience and stuff. Some audiences are more receptive to storytelling. They want to hear the stories. If I'm performing covers at a bar gig and I slip in a couple originals, I am not going to do storytelling time at something like that, at a party or something. It's just not the appropriate venue. But when I do an actual proper concert of my original music, I always try to and tell people a little bit about the music, because I know that the audiences there are interested. They want to hear the story behind the music. They want to feel like they can connect with the artist on a deeper level and understand you more. So I think it's important to do some storytelling. Not so much they get bored, just a little bit. Because I don't like to ruin their experience of the music. I want people to connect with it on their own level and to bring their own experiences to the music and kind of own the songs. So I don't want to tell them too much like this is what my song's about.
This is exactly why we do this show, Chellcy, so that they get to know you a little bit as a person. We're not asking you like daft questions about what kind of favorite biscuit you like or anything like that. We're just getting to know you on a bit more about you as a person, but still keep some mystique there, right?
Yes.
So that people go and discover now for themselves your music.
Yes, that would be lovely.
And that's the way it works. Listen, it's been absolutely beautiful having you on today. Thank you so much for your time. We could have continued forever. Do send us something for the board as well, so that we can have your beautiful face up here alongside all of these other wonderful people that have been on the show in the past.
We'll do that.
That would be marvelous. And thank you out there. If you're driving along the M25 right now, you can't see me pointing with my fingers at the screen, but thank you for listening and supporting as always. And do check out Chellcy's music. We will be putting the links in and around this as it goes out, so you can just click. And if you are listening on the Spotify, then your thumb just needs to move down literally 0.5 centimeter, and there's Chellcy's music. It's as simple as that. We will be back very soon with more conversations with people from the world of music. But until then, from Chellcy and myself,
Thank you. Thank you, Graham.
Bye for now. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.